What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
The Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and online at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Well, good Wednesday morning. Chip Walters here from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates and the Blue Raider Network. Well, Leland Statum's not here, but happy hump day to you. Welcome in on this Wednesday, and today we're talking real estate for the next hour. So if you've got questions about the market or whatever, you may be a question about something being developed down the road from you, which never happens in Murfreesboro in Rutherford County, just drop us a text message, 615-893-1450. Happy to have a couple of guys who are blue-collar, get-after-it realtors here in town, but are very active in the Middle Tennessee Association of Realtors, and that is immediate past president Christopher Wilson with Advantage Property Pros, and also for full disclosure, that includes Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. And Christopher, how are you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Good deal. Good deal. Hunter McDonald of Red Realty, and am I correct, first vice president?
That is correct.
Okay. Hunter is first vice president, which means you are in the pipeline. And when is what does that mean? Your year will be to be president a couple of years from now?
2025.
Okay, because Scott Abernathy is the current MTAR president, but he due to his travel schedule, unable to be here today. But anyway, the question I get just, okay, what's up? How's the market? You know, and that is a very open-ended question. But right now, with you guys, is it a market in general here in Rutherford County that is favorable to either sellers or buyers right now?
Well, that's the kind of funny thing about it right now is that it's not an easy question to answer, Chip.
Exactly.
You know, in the past, sometimes you just be like, oh, it's really hot, or whatever the situation is. It's even more complex now because there are certain price points that it's a massive seller's market, and will continue to be a seller's market for a long time, especially in the lower price points. And believe it or not, once you get up into some of the really high price points, it becomes a little bit of a seller's market as well. And then everything in between, it does seem like there are some advantages to buyers right now. The problem is, of course, as we all know, with interest rates and different expenses going up, the buyers are having their own difficulties. Even though they might be able to get a deal on the house, on the lending side, it's becoming a lot more complex for them.
Mm-hmm. And Hunter, when you look at price points that do favor lenders in that, I guess, that middle area, where do you see those opportunities?
I think right now you got a lot of opportunity in seller concessions and just doing some other, being able to actually, we're seeing home inspections come back where that was not a thing 8 months ago. So I think there's definitely some opportunity for buyers.
Well, and those are good things for buyers because, we went for several months, maybe a year, where, I felt bad for my buddies who are home inspectors because, if you went in with an offer on a $400,000 house that had a home inspection, you were dead in the water. And if you had an appraisal on it, you might have been dead in the water. But that has come back, and which allows buyers to do, I think, a much better job of due diligence when they're purchasing a home.
Absolutely. That's the protection. That's the ultimate protection. So when you are representing a buyer, it was hard as an agent. I think we can all attest to that. It felt really awkward, and I still refuse to ever recommend that they not do a home inspection.
Correct.
But we had to advise them of the consequences of asking for a home inspection because it was all but guaranteed what was going to happen.
Yeah, one of these things where you were more like, hey, I advise you to get a home inspection, but it may lose you the deal.
Yeah, and exactly. Those exact words came out of my mouth as well. And the other thing that realtors in our market had to get used to doing again about, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, was open houses. You went for a year and there was not one anywhere, because you'd put a $400,000 house on the market, and on a Friday, it would come on Real Tracks on Friday. You would have 40 showings, and I'm being conservative, a dozen offers by Sunday at 5 o'clock.
That's correct.
And now that's turned around, and that's where I think buyers have more selection to say, and they don't have to make those decisions. But is it seems like, there's always a monkey wrench being thrown into the works, and that was when interest rates last September, October started to make their rise.
Yeah,
That's correct.
That seems to be hitting us pretty hard right now, although we were all just talking about this right before the show. We're looking like we might start seeing a little reprieve from some of that. So, of course, nobody has a crystal ball, and if they tell you they do, they're probably selling you something. But we'll see what happens with it.
With that in mind, the one thing I have seen from our lender friends is they have gotten creative.
Absolutely.
And whether it is, there's the very simple buy down of a rate. There is also, I had one deal that went terrific because a certain lender had a program that was a 10-year adjustable, which meant nothing changed for 10 years, but they got a rate that was 1.5 below what the normal 30-year fixed was, and made a deal go terrifically. And you're seeing some of that. You're seeing what are you guys seeing lenders do to help make things work for buyers right now?
I've seen some of that, like you're talking about that adjustable rate. Also, THDA, RD.
THDA has jumped back in the picture big time.
Correct.
Because their rate's
5.5 right now, and where the 30-year fixed may be in the sixes somewhere.
Roughly,
Because people say, well, what are rates today? And you can't. Everybody's situation is different because of what we with everything that goes along with income and credit score and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it is interesting. And one of the other things that happened, and I still don't know how to explain it very well, was when the Fed made some of the fee changes on loans earlier, and kind of explain what happened there. And really, it was, from everything I've seen, it was kind of a much ado about nothing or very little of nothing.
Well, there was two different ones that happened there. There was one that they had proposed that they thankfully walked back. FHFA had proposed it and thankfully walked it back. But there's another one that went into effect, I believe, May 1st. Hunter, is that right? Yeah, May 1st, which basically states that on the fee structure, when you're getting your funding, if you have a good credit score, so basically if you've done what we've been taught to do our whole life, pay all your bills on time, do everything, get a good credit score, you actually have to pay a higher fee to help supplement them giving a lower fee to someone with a lesser credit score. Not a bad credit score, because of course lenders still have parameters of what they're going to loan to. But I want to say the marker was either 650 or 680.
I believe it was 650.
650 and above, you paid a little bit higher, and 650 and below, you actually got a discount on it. And so that does hurt some things. I think the thought process behind it was maybe higher credit score, maybe a little bit more affluent. But that's not the case. I mean, there's a lot of people with phenomenal credit scores who are still just medium income, families and stuff like that. So they could end up hurting in the long run.
I understand if you're given a break, but to try to stimulate first-time home buyers, things like that. But I did not understand the reasoning behind whether they thought it was or not, penalizing those with higher credit scores.
Correct.
Yeah, if they wanted to just give a discount to a lower credit score person to help stimulate first-time home buyers, by all means, that's awesome. None of us would have anything negative to say about that. But when you start penalizing one for the other, that kind of plays, you're playing winner and loser to a certain extent, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah. Now, Chris, you were president. Did you go 2 years, or was that Robert that went 2 years?
So Robert technically went 2 years.
Okay.
So I was the president-elect for 2 years.
Yeah.
But that second year was kind of because of COVID. None of us were expecting it. So that second year we had a lot of duties that ended up having to be shared between our whole board of directors team. So
yeah, well, and the reason I set that up, because you did spend a year, well, 3 years really in that situation of being, incoming president, and then your year as president. Before that, you were just a guy who was out there, selling houses, helping buyers, helping sellers, doing a little bit of development here and there, working on that. And all of a sudden, your whole world had to open up to policy, all of that kind of stuff. And Hunter, you're in that chain of command right now. How did it change the way you looked at the real estate industry as a whole by getting into the leadership at MTAR, Middle Tennessee Association of Realtors?
It was a little bit of change, not as much of one as you might think. Hunter's the same way. This is why it'll be really easy for him as well. We've both been involved with MTAR, specifically on the political side of things. So our PAC and our government affairs group. So the policy and politics of things we've kind of been involved with for a long time. What it did change a lot is you do go from, sometimes in real estate, at most you might have to think about an office, but typically you're either thinking about yourself or maybe your team, and at most an office, to now you're thinking about an entire industry. MTAR covers 9 counties, has over 2,600 members, and you're making decisions on a very large budget and hoping and praying that you're making the right decision to represent that group as a whole when you're doing it. So,
well, yeah, and obviously our domain here is Rutherford County, and even more hyper local being the city of Murfreesboro, and we've had discussions and action taken by city and county government is working on some things right now. Something that has never really had to be dealt with in Rutherford County, and that is impact fees. And the city has implemented, and the county is still working on that. What is the MTAR stance on that? And also, what will these actually affect? It's not going to affect the house in a neighborhood that was built 10 years ago. Not going to affect that one bit.
Nope.
But it's strictly new construction. Is that right?
That's correct.
So,
yeah. So want to differentiate too, since you brought the hyper focus of Murfreesboro, obviously, but also Rutherford County as kind of a whole. They are two different things. MTAR, when it comes to this specific topic of impact fees, MTAR opposes any impact fees at all. We oppose any fee that's actually going to be detrimental to the housing process, period. That being said, the city had every legal, for that term, right to do what they did. They actually came to us and met with us. The home builders had stated that they had met with the home builders for over the last 5 years, talking about this coming down the pike eventually. When we met with them, we realized there was no way we were going to probably be able to defeat it. So then we tried to negotiate ways to help alleviate the burden that an impact fee has on a builder specifically. So, for example, with the city, one of the things that was negotiated is they will not collect their impact fee until CO. Yeah, so you'll have that opportunity. You won't have to carry that cost of their impact fee for the entire life of the loan, which right now interest rates on most construction loans are around 9%.
And that's huge for a builder too.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. That makes what may be a $5,000 impact fee could easily turn into a $12,000 or $15,000 hit by the time you're carrying it the life of a loan.
Candy sent me some information, and it's interesting how the city and the county are going about it. The city has a little bit of a different approach, like you talked about. In the city of Murfreesboro, it starts July 1. It's $1.50 a square foot this year, $2 next year, $2.50 in the third year, and then would be reviewed annually to see if there's any changes. And I'm guessing you theoretically lower or higher at that point, but still that is a softer blow, it seems, then right now the county's looking for a flat fee. Smyrna already has a $3,800 impact fee. Laverne has one as well. But so it's Williamson County has been known for having higher impact fees on higher dollar properties. But it seems like, because we all, when things come down the pike, we say, okay, what can we live with? And it seems like the way the city has done this, with where it, number one, based on square footage instead of a flat fee, where that seems to be more fair than a just a one-time larger flat fee.
Well, so the thing is, this is where it gets convoluted and kind of difficult. The county already has a fee.
Okay.
The county has a $1 per foot fee right now. They get that already.
$1.
$1 per foot.
Okay.
That's already collected at the county level. So they're acting like they've not had this opportunity. They have had this opportunity. Absolutely have had it. They've been collecting it for a while. It was a development. Well, I don't remember. They didn't call it a development tax. It was the development tax.
Yeah.
Before of $1,500.
Right.
Then 3 years ago, the Realtor Association, the Builders Association, and the Rutherford County delegation all had a meeting together with Mayor Ketron, and they wanted to go to the County Powers Act, which allowed them to go to $1 per square foot, and that had built-in increases every 4 years based on population growth. And so we said, okay, they had every right to do it, just like the city of Murfreesboro had every right now. We said, nothing we can do to fight you on it. We support you in this. You do what you got to do, kind of thing. But here it is just a couple years later, and they're going back to the well, and they're wanting to do more, and they're wanting to do $5,000 is the number. Now, no one's heard a definitive number.
Right.
The proposed number was $5,000 per house. So you take that on the average 2,500 square foot house, they've now doubled what the previous impact fee is. Now, if you're building that also in the city of Murfreesboro, you've now tripled what the impact fee is. And the thing is like we keep on trying to talk to them about is you're going back to a well that is a finite well. The one thing we can't create more of is land.
Right.
And eventually there will not be any more new construction in Rutherford County unless you're tearing something down and putting something new up.
Correct.
And that's what we here in our area, we first started seeing that in East Nashville, that kind of thing, and now you're seeing it down along, right near Belmead, some of those areas where they've torn down wide houses and built tall and skinnies in its place. Anyway, we're going to take a break, and we'll have more. Christopher Wilson, Hunter McDonald from Middle Tennessee Association of Realtors are here. Get your questions or comments in at 893-1450 here on the WGNS Roundtable.
Guys, you may have noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive. Guess what? It could be low T. Schedule your complete health assessment at Low T Center, where they now offer the convenience of monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments for $155 a month cash pay or covered by most health insurance. If you don't live near a Low T Center or you just need that convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy to get started on treatment. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com right now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hello, class. I'm from the Tennessee Lottery and your substitute professor for the next 30 seconds. So where do proceeds from playing the Tennessee Lottery go? If you answered education, you're at the top of your class. The Tennessee Lottery has raised more than $6.8 billion for education programs like Hope Scholarships, Tennessee Promise, and much more. Now for some easy homework, go to tnlottery.com and see how the Tennessee Lottery helps students.
We're at Adams Place talking with Lee Davenport.
I have a sister-in-law that's here, and her daughters come to see me, and they said, Aunt Lee, why are you at Adams Place? I said, well, it's a good place to be. We're blessed to have Adams Place.
Hi, this is Terry Deal at Adams Place. Call me for more information about Adams Place, located at 1927 Memorial Boulevard, across from Walmart.
It's Good Neighbor Events, brought to you by the law offices of John Day, AmeriCare Pest Control, and Cardinal Realty Solutions.
Cardinal Realty Solutions takes the time to sit down with new buyers or sellers to go over the process for that big transaction.
We had multiple offers thanks to Cardinal Realty Solutions.
Find a realtor you can trust at cardinalrealtysolutions.com.
Murfreesboro is hosting a career fair on Friday, June the 9th.
We have healthcare, FedEx,
Alex Jones, HR manager for the city of Murfreesboro.
fast food, manufacturing facilities.
Career fair on the Civic Plaza from 9 to 1, June the 9th.
Now, WGNS Good Neighbor events. The Red Cross is critically low on blood. Phone the Red Cross and make an appointment at a time that fits your schedule. You've heard us talking about wedding dresses across decades and cultures. Now through June the 18th. And it's open Fridays and Saturdays from 10 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. On Sundays from 1 until 5. The Women's Club of Murfreesboro, 221 West College Street, and the admission $15. Here's something you need to know. There's a grief support group every Wednesday morning at 10 at the St. Clair Street Senior Center. And now through August 31st, there's no sales tax on gun safes sold in Tennessee. That tax-free holiday continues now until August 31st. Don't throw away Old Glory. Bring your tattered American flag to WGNS and let the girls from BSA Troop 2019 at Trinity United Methodist Church retire it with dignity. Plus, we also recycle Bibles. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Good Neighbor weather. Look for increasing cloud cover for this afternoon with a chance for some late day showers and storms, warming up to 87. Tonight, chance for storm in the evening, 58. I'm meteorologist Michael Caron, News Radio WGNS. Currently, it's 63.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE serves members with more than just electricity. Their community outreach team works with schools, parents, and students to provide engaging and unique learning experiences. MTE serving to make life better since 1936.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Welcome back into the Wednesday Roundtable. Chip Walters with you, and Christopher Wilson, Hunter McDonald, representing the Middle Tennessee Association of Realtors here today. Next week, we're going to do a racing show because we'll be about a week out from the Ally 400 up at Nashville Super Speedway, and about a little over a month out, or month and a half out from the Music City Grand Prix. And Norm Parton, Joe Williams hope to be here, have them with us, and of course, the Fairgrounds Speedway has gotten fired up a little bit more with some of the recent pieces of news that were out there. But we were talking about impact fees, that kind of thing, and what's coming up. And as you mentioned, the mayor's having a forum next Tuesday. Is that correct?
So next Tuesday at 7 p.m. at the Rutherford County Courthouse, it's a open forum about the proposed 16% property tax hike.
So, that would be in addition to any impact fees. That's a whole separate deal. So,
that's correct.
And we here in Murfreesboro, we faced a property tax hike a few years ago. Nashville's had their large one, and the county is in the similar situation of where the city was a few years ago, because there's a county commissioner in the building here even as we speak today, but county commissioners and city councilmen, they don't want to have tax increases on their record. And nobody would.
Nobody would. Yeah.
If you were in that position. But, the reality is, if you take, a smaller bites at the apple along the way, they're a whole lot easier to swallow than the whole apple at one time. And that's what ends up happening, it seems like. Is that correct?
No, that is correct, and that's one of the things that have been recommended. And I know Hunter's going to talk about here in a second, because the realtors, we're not just out there to buy and sell houses. We want to be a resource, as you know, Chip, in all aspects of real estate. So when we're talking about tax increases, one of the things that the story that's been out there the most is with senior citizens and the potential for their property tax increases and affordability and things of that nature. But Hunter has some information about that we were going to share and talk about as well. So
please do. Go right ahead.
So, I mean, at the city level, you can go to your county clerk and you can put a tax freeze on your property. So if you're in that senior citizen age range, you can go there, you can fill out the application, and then that will actually hold your rate at the rate it's at currently.
I just turned 60. Do I qualify yet? So I'm getting closer.
Getting closer. I don't think you're quite there yet, but you are getting closer.
The political action in general by MTAR. I mean, it's interesting because you have the Middle Tennessee Association of Realtors. You have different local groups. Williamson County has theirs. The Greater Nashville. You've got those Eastern Middle Tennessee. Those different that all feed into the what used to be TAR. Now it's Tennessee Realtors. Same thing, and then into the National Association of Realtors, which will be having a national event in Nashville here.
They have the summits here in Nashville, I think, coming up. That's a kind of more
in July.
Yeah, so, centralized one. Yeah,
gotcha. But with that, there is a process by realtors to take political action, and most of it is I think could be classified as consumer protection.
Yes.
Would you say that's correct?
100% accurate. That's actually the primary goal.
Kind of give folks, because there's something called RPAC, which is the Realtors Political Action Committee. What are the goals? And you, Hunter, you take that and run with it.
Yeah. So Realtor Political Action Committee, they are the money side of it. So they're the ones that are actually doing events and holding events that would bring in that money. And then the government affairs side is I more or less consider that the spending side.
The policy side.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're the ones out there pounding pavement, trying to make sure that we are having relationships with our county commission, state and local legislation, and just making sure that we can keep those lines of communication open.
What would you say, Chris, that has been some things that through RPAC and through political action that have over your time in the leadership train at MTAR has come back to help folks, not only consumers, but I know there's a couple of major things that help realtors during the pandemic.
Yeah. So the pandemic was a big one, and it was kind of funny. I think any of us sitting here who are all professionals have been in this industry, if you would have told us that we're going to shut down the country and have the hottest real estate market at the same exact time, we couldn't have guessed it. Like, it would not have happened. But so the RPAC and the Government Affairs Committee were instrumental in making it so we could still operate. We helped get things passed like digital closings for title companies. We helped lenders get some of their stuff passed. Builders the same way. So we became a vital, or what they considered essential
and
service.
that was a huge deal because. You know, I know in meetings in our office, there were some conversations during that point, you know, thinking, okay, how lucky are we that we still get to work? Because, and I forgot what state it was, but it was a New England state that never, I mean, you couldn't show a house, you couldn't do anything. And so we were very fortunate in that it on the state level, and then that realtors were at that point listed as essential services.
Well, and the other part about it is that was one of those twofold ones that helped consumers as well. What was the one thing we noticed during the pandemic was consumers realized I don't have to live 5 minutes from where I work. I can live out in the country. And we also saw more people gain wealth through home sales during that time, that if you were in Pennsylvania or some of the northeastern states where realtors couldn't work, you could not sell your house, you could not buy a new house, you were stuck with what you had. And you know, here we had a lot of consumers. I had clients who had gotten paychecks from the sale of their house that were bigger than anything they had ever seen in their life. And so that ended up being a consumer benefit just as much as it was a realtor benefit.
Yeah. Right. It was kind of funny to see how many people actually needed, you know, office space that never thought about that in their home before. So that was.
I will tell you, I mean, and I'm guaranteeing you'll agree with me 100% that working with buyers, during 2021 in particular, or late 2020 through today, the first two questions they'll ask, outside of, okay, what school zone is it in or whatever, is there home office space and is there high-speed internet?
100%. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and you guys have worked on the development side. Have you seen from home builders, has that changed the way that they are designing as far as allotment of space within a house, that they are now always putting in an area that can be a flex space or whatever that at the very least that can be used as a home office?
Yeah, I think it definitely changed the way that builders look at that and the way that they would view how those plans are going to be laid out. I know from that standpoint, even ourselves, we now have an office space at home because of that situation. So.
Yeah, I had one kind of, sort of, but it got used a whole lot more. but I'm an old school. I've got to get up. I've got to go to the office, and that drink my cup of coffee on the way in, and that kind of thing, and still do it that way. Before we get to our next break, one thing I want to talk to you about is the Realtor Relief Foundation, which really hits home. And right now, if you are listening in here in Rutherford or Cannon County, and you were affected by the tornado that came through in April, listen up, because the Realtor Relief Foundation is here to help and kind of explain what that is. Whichever one of you want to take that and how and what people need to do.
The Realtor Relief Foundation actually has been crucial for the state of Tennessee as a whole over the last couple of years with the tornadoes and flooding and things that we've had. But that is basically realtors throughout the National Association of Realtors contribute on their own accord into a fund that is then set aside for natural disasters that affect our communities. And so in this case, the tornado that went through hit Reedyville really hard, and some of those areas, like something we hadn't seen in our area in a while, those homes and those families are eligible for some relief. If they go to the Middle Tennessee Association website, there's some information on there about how to apply. It's a link, fill out, answer the questions, and they can receive monetary relief. It can help for rent payments. It can help for loss of things. I think Candy may have given you a list of the different things that they can use it for.
It just basically, they can help with mortgage and rent payments.
Mortgage and rent payments, yeah.
Well, I know the cool thing is since 2001, they've given away over $38 million. So
wow,
yeah,
and that can help a lot of people. The key point here is, folks, if you're listening, and if you were affected by the tornado, applications are open until June 30th,
yes.
which we're just 20 some odd days away from that right now. So you to take advantage of that, you need to do that.
Yeah, so it's a huge help. I mean, it's something that when you're kind of sitting there, I can only imagine, feeling kind of down on everything, to get a little bit of monetary help can make the difference in a lot of stuff.
Correct.
And also to give a big shout out to Tennessee Realtors. They realized how vital this has been for our communities over the last few years. They're actually creating an additional fund just for the state of Tennessee as well.
Okay, so if you want to, obviously the couple of websites, if you'd like to take advantage of that, are mtar.org. That is Middle Tennessee Association of Realtors. You can Google it, or just go mtar.org, or TennesseeRealtors.com. That is the TAR site, and of course there are national programs. You can go to Realtor.com, which is the NAR site for any national programs if you're looking for relief in those areas. And that's something that this is not just a one-time thing. This has been part of the overall mission of what the Realtor Association here in Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, and Middle Tennessee, and throughout the state, as you mentioned, is to be a partner with folks in the state, not just somebody who's helping them do a transaction.
Well, and I think that was the thing too, is so many people, when they hear realtor relief, think it's just for realtors, but don't understand that it's for the public.
It's realtors helping
correct
in the relief. So that is going on, and again, more information on mtar.org. Good Neighbor program, realtors are good neighbors, and June 3rd through 11th, which we're right in the middle of that right now, the 46th annual Bill Carey Golf Scramble is going on today.
Yep,
and
right after this.
So you want to go see some bad golfers?
Absolutely.
Is that going to be out at Indian Hills today?
It's at Indian Hills, tee off at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, tee off at 1 o'clock, and it is a huge fundraiser, 46 years, and that is MTAR scholarships and the American Diabetes Association. That is going on today, and talk a little bit about that golf scramble and how and the type of money that it has raised over the years.
Well, so this year we have 12 applicants that received a minimum of $1,000 scholarship.
Right.
We split the money with the American Diabetes Association. It is the longest running golf scramble in Rutherford County. Period. 46 years running now.
Wow.
This will be the first year that Bill Carey will not be with us for the scramble. He passed away.
Yep.
He actually passed away shortly after last year's scramble, and was actually buried in his green jacket from the scramble championship. So it was kind of a cool thing. He loved this event. I mean, this was his passion in his life. So
yeah, it was like his playground on the day of the golf scramble, because he was so. I mean, it meant so much to him,
Mm-hmm.
and not only that it was for him, but the type of money that had been raised over such a long time to help so many people.
Yeah,
correct. So that's going on. Also, and I heard this story yesterday of why there within the realtor's office, all you realtors out there in your office that might be listening today, next time you're at the grocery here this week, grab a jar or two of jelly.
Mm-hmm.
The MTAR has a little program going with Greenhouse Ministries, and the story I heard, somebody walked in the other, I guess, few weeks ago to their warehouse, and there was like peanut butter everywhere. I mean, just jars upon jars upon jars of peanut butter, and they said, well, I see you've got all this. What do y'all need? They said, we need jelly. So realtors across Rutherford County and throughout the mid-state area are doing a jelly drive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are out there and you want to drop some jelly off, just any real estate office in Murfreesboro, or if you are out off Butler Drive, the MTAR office out there, and realtors, if you're listening, bring some jars of jelly into your office, and we'll help out Greenhouse Ministries.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
And we also have the YPN event coming up that you can drop that jelly off, coming up the 20th from 11 to 3.
And that's at Arrington?
Arrington Vineyards, yes, sir.
So the Young Professionals Network, part of MTAR, is going to be happening out there. We need to take another break, and we've got some other fun stuff to talk about. Christopher Wilson, Hunter McDonald from Middle Tennessee Association of Realtors. We'll have more right after this here on WGNS.
When the unexpected happens, fire, water, or storm damage, Farrah Construction can help. Farrah Construction is also there to help when a car slams through the wall, and that seems to happen more often these days. I'm Ron Hall. Let our family at Farrah Construction help you. Call Farrah Construction and we'll board up, put down tarps, secure your home or business until the insurance coverage is approved. I'm Ron Hall. Shop local. Let our family business help you. Farrah Construction Company.
I'm Rodney French from French's Shoes and Boots in Murfreesboro. I'd like to invite you over to our hometown store, 1837 South Church Street. French's Shoes and Boots has been serving Rutherford County with the best selection of work boots, western boots, and a great selection of shoes and accessories. Our bargain room is full of famous brand shoes and boots up to 90% off mall prices. Brands like Clark's, Merrill, Justin, and Ariel. Tons of shoes and tons of brands, all at super great prices.
French's Shoes and Boots.
1837 South Church Street in Murfreesboro.
This is Dr. David Morris with Magnolia Medical Center. Do you suffer from peripheral neuropathy in your hands or feet, burning pain, balance problems, and decreased quality of life? Magnolia Medical Center can help.
Magnolia Medical Center in Murfreesboro. Online at magnoliamedicalcenters.com.
Here at Bud's Tire, we make buying Michelin tires simpler. I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We offer a straightforward approach to service, including nationwide warranties with every purchase. Stop in today to see our full lineup of Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. For whatever you drive, Michelin and BF Goodrich have a tire to fit any need. Bud's Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
MTSU Arts, together with Ascend Federal Credit Union, provide hundreds of performances, exhibitions, and concerts annually.
My name is Timothy Wales. I'm a liberal arts student at MTSU.
This is Jasmine January. I'm a music industry major at MTSU.
I'm Alec Barger, a graduating senior at MTSU.
Just as our students enrich their lives by showcasing their skills, we invite you to enrich yours by being an MTSU Arts patron.
Visit mtsu.edu/MTSU Arts for more information.
Woodbury Road Baptist Church invites you to worship with us this Sunday morning at 10:45. If you can't make it in person, listen to WGNS Sunday morning at 10:15. Find out more at woodburyroadbaptist.org. We look forward to worshiping with you this Sunday.
Talking with customers of Jeff's family-friendly restaurant on Hancock Street about why they keep coming back.
It is excellent. Very good food. It's kind of like eating at home. Real nice folks here. So good.
So much food at Jeff's, you'll have a hard time cleaning your plate.
Food is great.
Oh, this is great food. Give you an ample amount.
They season it well and give you enough that you don't have to worry about going away hungry.
Come hungry to Jeff's family-friendly restaurant on Hancock Street.
This is great. I love it.
Really good. Glad I came today.
Jeff's family-friendly restaurant on Hancock Street.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Well, another great Wednesday here in Murfreesboro and Rutherford County, and might have a chance for an afternoon thunder shower this afternoon, but coming up later this week, the humidity's gonna go down, the temperatures are gonna go down a little bit. So, if you're a CMA Fest person, you're actually going to get some of the best weather we've ever had for that. A couple of other things just want to hit on real quick. We talked about the jelly collection. Another big one coming up starting in a couple of weeks. And again, this goes out to realtors and anybody else who wants to help with that. There is a big back-to-school supply drive that'll be happening. And, just everything from, notebooks to pencils to anything that kids need going back to school. We try to collect as much of that as possible. So,
yeah, it's a big one. Backpacks, anything that we can help. Once again, it really is all about our community. And one of the things that we can't stress enough is we not only work in this community, we live in this community. We pay taxes in this community. We do everything, and we want our community to be the best community it can be. And when we can help the kids or greenhouse ministries or any of those kind of events, we do the coat drive in the fall for homeless shelters. All those things are just just little things that we can do to kind of help improve where we live.
I know in our office at Exit, we have a relationship with the Tennessee Veterans Home.
Yep.
And we do things over there 2 or 3 times a year, which is, I promise you, it will come back to you more than what you're giving out on that. The other one is talking about the north end of the county. Realtors work with Meals on Wheels in Smyrna, and one of the stats that Candy sent me was that realtors in all of these different type of things and drives that are going on volunteer 3 times more than the average national stats on volunteerism. So that's one thing is that we can say about our profession is that we're not afraid to go out and spend time to give back and help others.
Absolutely.
That's correct.
So if you have driven out Butler Drive, and those of you who know where that is, that's out near Riverdale. It's the opposite direction of Warrior Drive. Near the Pillsbury plant. That's where the MTAR office is, and there's been some construction on the back of the property that is coming to toward the finish line here in the hopefully very near future. And all of you folks who are out there that are looking for an event space for, whatever your event might be, whether it's going to be a big wedding reception or whether it's a big Christmas party, whatever it might be, Middle Tennessee Association of Realtors is about to open up a brand new event space, and I had got a chance to take a tour of it the other day. And if you drive in the driveway and you look at it and you go, oh, okay. Then you walk in and you go, man, this place is big. But this is something that has been needed for a long, long time, not only for the community, but MTAR itself, because as you mentioned, 2,500 realtors over 9 counties, and it is, MTAR has been chasing places to have its own events, and this new event center is going to be able to accommodate.
Yeah, so this will be just shy of 10,000 square feet. It'll hold over 400 people. Has a full kitchen, but the main event center part is a big open space that you can kind of do with as you please as far as seating arrangements, tables, presentations, whatever it is. It's something we're really proud of. It's been a project. The thought process started almost 4 years ago, and it's finally coming to a close. So
something that's been needed for a while, because we used to have an event space at MTAR, and that used to be rented out for many events. And so I think this is a well-needed space.
Yeah, and now there's what was the event space has been repurposed into educational areas, more office space, conference rooms, that kind of thing, and an incredible job done on that. But it left the event space area still being needed, and they're not. I talked to Sierra at the office yesterday. Not quite ready to start taking reservations for events just yet, but once I think we're planning the ribbon cutting and grand opening somewhere 11th, 12th, 13th of July. That is the target.
We're shooting for the 12th.
Yep. And so once that happens, you can call MTAR if you have an event that you're looking to have, and they will start there because right now they're finishing up rental agreements, rules of what you'll be able to do in there, those kind of things. But if I'm correct, it's got built-in sound, it's got built-in audio-visual stuff, large restrooms. The one thing I think is really neat is there's a covered drive-up area, because we all know it will rain right when you're ready to have an event somewhere. And so you have that drive-up area where you can drop off, a big lobby area with a big coat room, all of that. So it's going to be a very consumer-friendly event space out there.
Absolutely.
So it's coming up. So that's what's going on with some of the things with MTAR, and we'll kind of end the hour the way we started it here in the final 6-7 minutes or so that we have, and we talked about market conditions, all of that. Let's put the crystal ball on and your Merlin's magic wizard hat, and let's kind of do some predictions over what do you see in the next year, next 2 years, 5 years, as far as market conditions are concerned. And then we'll kind of talk about a few things after that.
Go ahead.
I think that, based off of the growth that we still have coming in and around Davidson County, I think we're kind of in a bubble. I think we'll be a little bit protected.
And this is a good bubble.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Kind of like 07, 08, to where it did affect us, right? But not compared to the national average. So I think we'll still be in that good bubble of good growth coming this way. I think we'll still see, we've seen a little bit of slowdown, but I think it's all due to interest rates. I think if interest rates drop, we'll see the buyer market pick right back up.
Do you agree that the lending market is the tail that's wagging the dog right now?
Yeah, to a certain extent, I think that's going to be the big indicator. I've said this to my group for going on about the last 3 or 4 months, so now I'll put it out there publicly. We're going to find out if I'm have a magic ball, crystal ball, or if I'm a fool here. But I think what's going to end up happening over specifically the next 5 years is sometime at the beginning of next year, first quarter, maybe second quarter of next year, we'll start seeing the rate do small but steady falls. But I think it's going to settle in the low 5s. And of course, rates always fluctuate. We've seen that from day to day. It can be 1/8 of a point difference, 1/2 a point difference, anything like that. I think, but it'll settle somewhere in those low 5s, and I think we'll probably be there for the next few years. Nationally speaking, historically speaking, 6 was a phenomenal interest rate.
Correct.
We've just gotten spoiled over the last, whatever it was, 5 years, and don't know what to do otherwise.
I mean, I bought my first house, and I had my rate was 7.5, and I thought I was stealing money.
Yeah,
right.
And now you're exactly right. It's all, but I mean, we're in a microwave society anyway.
Yep.
And people's, it still kills me. Say, oh well, that happened way back in the 90s. That wasn't way back.
All right.
But then I think, yeah, it was. That was 20 plus years ago. But so. We're all watching that, but the thing is, and here's part of the elevator speech to a client. It is, you are still way better off from a financial standpoint of being able to make a purchase than paying rent. And
Yes.
but it is still rental is still, there's a portion of the community that's still a great option.
That's correct. I think, for me being in that property management field, I think that I see where our rental rates are higher than what you can get a mortgage for right now.
Even with the current rates we have, your mortgage payment still has a great shot of being less than what you would pay in rent.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And the backhanded slap of higher rate is, well, that means you're going to be able to write off more interest when your taxes come around every year. So
well, you're also you're paying your equity down instead of somebody else's equity down.
Trends, again, as we're forecasting here, trends in development and areas are there within the county. Where do you see? I mean, obviously, west of I-24 has been incredibly hot. Are we building enough houses for need right now?
No, not even close. That's part of the problem, and I think that's what scares us the most about all these.
Charles will back that up.
Oh, absolutely, Edsel Charles. That's where we get most of this data from, and I think that's what scares us about these kind of throwing around these numbers with impact fees and different things like that is the fact that Williamson County we get compared to a lot. Williamson County has 5,000 or 10,000. Yeah, they also have $1 million homes. Like every home in Williamson County costs you $1 million.
Is Wilson County a better comparison?
It is. It could be, but we don't know yet because theirs is so new. We don't know what the long-term effect of that on a more reasonably priced market would be. And although they are more expensive than us as well, typically, with some stuff, especially in Mount Juliet and closer that you get to Davidson County. So that makes us nervous because if developers and builders start seeing, well, I can just go right down the road and do it for a lesser price and actually sell a more affordable home because I paid less for the land, I paid less for the development, I paid less for the build, then they're going to take it out of Rutherford County. Edsel Charles says, I think last time we checked it was like 7,500 homes, something like that. We were short. We're not building. I mean, what was the highest year of late was like 6,600 permits pulled. Like so, and that's barely covering what we need, and so you'd have to literally stop selling any houses for over a year just to even catch up with the demand.
And I think one of the things we get compared so much to Williamson County, but also Williamson County's in the top 5 of wealth in the nation.
Yes,
different communities.
Different communities.
Exactly. A couple of stats here as we wrap up. May numbers compared to a year ago. In May 2022. In Rutherford County, there were 589 homes sold. May of 2023, 525, which is down 10.9%, which that is actually an improvement over the January, February, March of this year. So that to me looks like a turn in the positive direction as far as vibrancy of the market, both builders or buyers and sellers getting back in. And we are in the hot time of typically when homes are being sold because school is out, people are changing jobs, that kind of thing. So any final thoughts before we wrap it up here?
No, I think you made a good point, though, and that's what I love about this community. I love about Murfreesboro and Tennessee. I'm a transplant. Been here 10 years now, but I am a transplant. And one of the things I loved is this community is very community driven. So even in real estate, we see it. The first couple months of the year, people are trying to wrap up school. You have graduations, you have dances, you have all this stuff with your kids. When that gets out, real estate goes up.
Things happening.
Yeah.
Any last thing?
No, I was born and raised in the community and love this community and excited to see it grow.
Guys, appreciate you all taking time today. Hit them straight in about 250 right down the middle today as you will be playing golf this afternoon and raising some money out there for folks.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Christopher Wilson and Hunter McDonald from Middle Tennessee Association of Realtors joining us today. If you missed any of it or want to recatch it, it'll be on the podcast section of WGNSradio.com. Brian Barrett is next, and next Wednesday we'll be talking racing. So boogity, boogity, boogity. Be with us next Wednesday right here on the Roundtable on the Big G, WGNS.